What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Jimmy. We're gonna be talking about the skills that they taught us at Cal State Long Beach year 2 semester 1. Year 1, definitely go and watch that before you watch this one. Let's hit the computer guys. Fall, spring, year 2. I'm gonna go over fall only for today. 154 is the follow-up class to that shop class where they taught us how to use foam, work with wood, and all the machines. After we know how to do all of that, to teach us how to work with this foam, we use automotive techniques to eventually get it to a pristine looking product, which is eventually what I'll walk through to you guys in a bit. 156 is the Solidworks class. This is the class that's after the AutoCAD class. Solidworks is CAD. Keyshot, which is the rendering program. Take your CAD model that you build in SolidWorks, move it over to Keyshot, and then you could add materials and lighting to your design, and then eventually get it to a finished looking photo. This is essentially going to be a physical real looking product, and this is going to be a digital real looking product. And then this here is going to be your sketching. Sketching is going to be very loose, less grids, very fast. Here we go. So 154, there's two different projects. The first project is a shaver and the second one is a kitchen appliance of our choice. So I ended up picking an electric knife. For an electric shaver, this project was the entry project. Essentially, the design doesn't matter too much, again, because it's still the end, the beginning classes, and they're more of teaching you the process and the skill sets. Electric shaver, and this part here is made of foam. This part here is foam, and then this part here I dissected from a shaver that I had. This here is transparencies that I printed on so that it looks like a touch interface. Nothing too exciting, but I'll walk through you guys how I made that. This is the second project. This is the one where you're kind of focused on the design a little bit more. Since you already did that first project, you know the process, you know how to like sand and primer and paint it. I haven't seen this on YouTube anywhere, guys. So you guys are getting exclusive info here. This is essentially how you build a model industrial design style. You start off first with an orthographic view. So you're going to have the side view, the top view, the front view. And what you're going to do is you're going to print this out 1:1 scale and then glue it onto a block of industrial foam. You're going to run this foam block into a bandsaw following the line here, and essentially what you get is this. It's very blocky, but essentially it's giving you the general shape. Give it some love, hit it with some sandpaper, shape it a little bit. It's very curvy now, the surfaces are starting to develop, but it's still very blocky. Here you can see it coming together even more so. Not only is there foam and the knife that I purchased, but it's also laser cut, which is not something that they teach us in the class specifically, but it's kind of like suggested. So it's a good thing if you kind of dabble in it a little bit earlier. Eventually laser cutting is going to be like your best friend. So laser cutting is essentially just like you have a 2D drawing that you do in Illustrator or AutoCAD, run through the laser cutting machine, and it follows your drawing, and you get it cut on acrylic sheets. So what I did was I had these grill vents here that I had cut out, and then later you'll see a honeycomb pattern. You can see me shaping this foam, trying to build in this mechanism here for the blade to be able to insert in and out. This is the button that you press. That's how you release the blade. So you guys can see it's coming together. The blue parts that you guys see is called Bondo. Foam is a subtractive process, meaning that you can't add to it if you've taken some away. What Bondo is kind of like toothpaste. You mix a hardener in it, mix it together, and it gives you a certain amount of time before it starts to harden completely hard, and then you could eventually sand it. Everything is looking good. The form is looking good. Foam is very kind of soft, and you could like dig in with your fingernail. So what you want to do is create this hard shell around it. Hit it with some primer. What primer is kind of like a very thick paint. And what it does is it creates an eggshell around the foam, filling up the pores. You have to sand it till it's very smooth. So you guys can see I did this part right here. Super, super smooth so far. It takes a long time to get it this smooth and paint ready. This black part here is acrylic sheets. And acrylic sheets is like plastic sheets. Buy them at specialty plastic stores. And they come in a variety of different thicknesses and different colors. I lowered the surface and then I bondoed the piece in. After, when I primer it, it's just gonna look like a whole piece. If you guys have any kind of imperfections on the primer stage, it's going to show up on the paint stage, and then your project and your work is not going to look as nice as it should be. So then what you do is you paint the whole thing and then you clear coat. And this clear coat is very similar to automotive clear coat. Actually, it's the exact same thing. Create this very glossy, thick layer onto it. And you could either decide to use clear coat, or you could go with a matte finish as well, or something a little bit in between. And then essentially you assemble it, put it together using epoxy. This part here is vinyl cut. So what vinyl cuts is a giant sheet sticker. You have your artwork kind of like the laser cutting that I told you, and what it does is it runs a blade onto the sticker, cutting out your artwork, eventually giving you some sticker that you could place onto your products as branding. All right guys, so 156 is the class where they teach us how to render and to build stuff in CAD. You build something in Solidworks, you move that same file over to Keyshot, and Keyshot allows you to render, add materials, add finishes. When you're first learning how to use a program, a lot of the times you're just replicating stuff. So he made us replicate some of these shapes. With the second project here, we're tasked to do a measuring cup. Moving on. So this one, he's asking us to do a rear view of a chair. So these are deliverables. He'll tell us, okay, well, design a faucet for me, and I want 2 different views. I want a close-up view and an in-context view. In-context view puts this into an environment where the product would live. A close-up view is just like a detailed shot on and kind of highlighting a specific feature of your product. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys have probably seen this already. This is my gym lunchbox, where you have a pill case up here and a shaker bottle. Open it up, where you can store your sandwiches. We also learn how to print as well during turn-in date. Pin them up on the wall, we print them out on photo paper, and we get critiqued by the class as well as the professor. Hand-powered tool, I decided to do a paint gun. First one, where they make us do an exploded view here. GoPro competitor type camera. So this is our final project here. Close-up view and exploded view. 232A is the first advanced sketching class where you're not using the grid at all. They're breaking away from any kind of tools, and you're kind of just using your hands, learning how to marker and get more advanced and quicker at it. We did some kind of like raffle where we had some random products and then some random brands, and then we had to end up matching the product to the brand. This is also the same thing where we're taking a brand and we're adding it onto a different type of product that brand doesn't normally produce. So I did a flashlight with Ferrari Branding. This is where we do some research, trying to understand the different shapes, the different type of form, apply it onto a flashlight. I was super into flashlights at the time. This is my first concept. I thought it was super cool, but it was a little bit too intense. So I went back at it a little bit more sleek. I took this from F12 Ferrari, re-rendered it, got a lot better at manual rendering. This is the final project where we're essentially just doing a dream project, premium Hyundai luxury supercar here. That is it, guys, for fall semester year 2 at Cal State Long Beach. They teach us how to create a realistic looking model of our concepts. Solidworks and Keyshot, knowing how to use those 2 programs, being able to produce a very realistic rendering of our product, being able to manual render and sketch very well at the same time. So that is year 2, guys. You guys can see my improvement from year 1 all the way to year 5. All right, guys, if you like this video, definitely hit that thumbs up button. Also hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so that more videos come right to you. And if you guys know of an industrial design out there that needs my help, definitely share these videos with him or her. All right, guys, I will catch you in the next video. Peace.